The following video is full of very, very interesting and important things, but I do need to make one clarification in the beginning, and that is I am not at all saying that for me, at this point, in this Eis Milchama, this time of war, I am not saying that it is important only to focus upon blessing. At all, I am not saying that. The prophets of Israel did a whole lot of cursing. The prophets of Israel did not talk to the powerless. They spoke to the powerful. They're the only ones that matter, the only ones that can change things. All I'm saying here is that it's important to bless and to remember your friends, to thank publicly and to remember your friends, and that's what I'm doing. However, do not get me wrong. Everybody of consequence at this point, at this very second, is either a friend or an enemy of all of us.
It's amazing. In many ways, I'm the best person on earth. And yet, even I find that it's easier to curse than to bless. It's easier to be unappreciative than to be appreciative. I was recently speaking with Nobel Prize winner Robert John Aumann, Yisrael Aumann. And it was a wonderful conversation. I haven't uploaded it yet for a number of reasons. The primary one of which is that due to his age and due to the fact that Zoom actually doesn't work very well, at times it was hard for him to hear. And I don't think that he necessarily came across as good as he could have in terms of a show of tremendous intelligence and insight, which he has. He's 95. It's understandable. But one thing that he said to me was, everything that he said was meaningful. Everything that he said was meaningful. One thing that he said, we were talking about mankind and the problems of mankind. He mentioned Cain and Abel. He knows, as well as I do, that the story of Cain and Abel is not a simple story about the first two brothers on earth. It's a lot deeper than that. And I discovered that something which bothered me from my understanding of Bible since my youth was God telling Cain, La Pesach Chatos Roivex Ve'elecha Chukosoi Va'ato Timshal Boy. Error, evil, sin, mistakes, wherever you want to translate the word chatos, it's crouching at the doorway waiting for you. And it is lusting after you. You are its prey, but you will rule over it. Cain did not rule over it, but you can, and if you choose, will rule over it. Mankind didn't do a very good job of ruling over it, and therefore you have the story of the flood a little while later, which again, you need to understand correctly. There was no flood some 5,000 years ago, little less, according to... There was no flood at that point that wiped out every single person but Noah. The Bible is much smarter than most people think it is. But in any case, back to the story, after the flood, God says, Yetzer Leiv Ha'adam, and pardon me if I have to look down for once in a while, but the ground upon which I walk is iffy ground. It is sacred, but iffy ground. And there are people here that I don't want to step on as well. God says, you know, I can't just do this constant cursing. Yetzer Leiv Ha'adam Ra Min Urav. The inclination, the fashion of the heart of man it's evil, it's bad from his youth. I get it all now. It isn't that we were fashioned evil. It isn't that we are evil ever since Adam and Eve. We're not. It's from our youth. There is a great change. There is a great change. I can speak at least for the male a half of the species. There's a great change that takes place around puberty. It's at that point that you start to have some strength, some ability to get stuff, and that's when you start getting jealous of those who have more. That's when you start being upset at people. So let's do some blessing instead of cursing. First, I would like to bless the Nobel Prize winner Robert John Aumann. A great man, a very great man. There are thousands upon thousands of people who are subscribed to my Substack. If you're watching this on YouTube and it only has like 12 hits, that's because YouTube is absolutely out to destroy this channel. Because people watch YouTube for hate, they don't watch it for finding out that like the mistakes lie within and we can all fix our problems, etc. So YouTube is out, yeah. It's just the way it is. The algorithm is set up that way, humanity's algorithm is set up that way. Perhaps individuals are messing with it. I don't know, I don't care. But there are thousands of people who are on Substack. And I wrote to only a few, I think a total of 4 or 5 people. I wrote to private letters via Substack. So, people of prominence, some people of wealth, some people of fame. The only one who responded was Robert John Aumann. I didn't even ask him for anything. The other people, well, maybe that's why he responded. I don't know, perhaps. But yeah, I didn't ask anybody for anything actually. As it was, I just said like, hey, how's it going? Maybe we should speak with Professor Aumann, Nobel Prize winner of Economics 2005, for game theory. The man who understands humanity better than pretty much everybody. Mathematically speaking, he can prove that we are. He can prove who we are. He wrote back saying, hey, how can I help? I don't really know how he can help. I figured perhaps a video conversation, give me some credibility. Maybe YouTube won't destroy the channel. So we had that conversation. Like I said, I haven't posted. Please continue to ask how we can help. I should post it, especially now that I've given you the introduction. But, really a great man. Truly a great man. And I want to thank him. And I secondly want to thank a fellow named Andrew Hankey, a scientist from Iowa, who made it possible for me to speak to Professor Aumann in 2 ways. A, he gave me the largest amount of financial support that anyone's given me. And B, and therefore, this, you have to understand that when you're living day to day, so knowing that you have enough money for food and shelter for the next month is nice. It does free the mind a little bit. And B, we spoke for hours checking out to see if, we tried Google Meet, which is far superior to Zoom. But Professor Aumann was only familiar with Zoom, so we used Zoom, which is inferior. But he spent hours working with me on Google Meet to see if we can get off that the camera would all work out correctly and all the rest. And he also helped me to see correctly that not to expect too much, he helped me out. It's easier to bless than to curse from our earliest youth. Once we get past that point, it's easier to curse than to bless, unfortunately. So a lot of what I do on Substack and on YouTube as well is pointing out, saying, my Lord in heaven, how do you people not see? How do you not step forth? But I'm wrong. Not that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong, but I'm wrong for that to be the focus. The focus is really on people like Professor Aumann, who has nothing to gain personally in any kind of game theory sense other than for his spiritual and emotional satisfaction. For Andrew, for other people who have supported me. There's a rabbi I've mentioned. He doesn't mind me mentioning. I know he doesn't mind mentioning his name in print. I don't mind. I don't know if he minds mentioning it in video or not. So I don't. He's a rabbi, a very important rabbi in Israel. He actually teaches other people to be rabbis, ultra-Orthodox rabbis. He knows his stuff. And he supports me in every way as well. Another introduction that I should give to the video with Robert Aumann is about Egypt. I mentioned Egypt. And I mentioned why it is that you don't see me doing a lot of on-the-street interviews with people. I mentioned why it is that you don't see people very often in the videos. The reason is because they're afraid. This could give people an inaccurate perception of Egypt. Egypt not only is good, but it's great and it's wonderful and fun and it's got everything going for it. I realize now ultra-Orthodox Jews might want me to explain the mention of not returning to Egypt, but I'm not going to do that now. Suffice it to say that as a direct student of Maimonides, of Rambam, a direct line, hand on head, passed down authority like Moses did to Joshua, and more direct than that, I know what I'm doing. But back to Egypt. Yesterday I introduced about 7 or 8 Palestinians to each other. It's just some people overhearing a conversation. As you can see, I have to be loud in order for it to be recorded here. And when I'm talking to people in Arabic, I have to be loud as well. We're using the translation thing. So in public, people overhear and they come over. They're all actually studying in the same university to become doctors. And yet, two people knew each other, 2 other people knew each other, but otherwise, I was the glue, I was the introducer. And the conversation with one of them began very quickly with the person, I mentioned how much I love Egypt. And he said, yeah, it's right here in Alexandria. Right here in Alexandria, on October 7th, the day of the massacre in Israel, right here in Alexandria, a policeman killed 3 random Jews. How wonderful he was saying it. Right? Now you can see, I'm not going to get, first of all, okay, it goes without saying if anyone is in danger or disrespect, it's me, right? Don't be offended on your behalf or anyone else's behalf. I'm the one literally, some people are even overhearing me here. I'm the one literally here, and I'm not secret at all. I let people take selfies or videos with me, and everybody knows where to find me. Yeah. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. But obviously, here in Egypt, if he were to say that kind of thing on video, well, it wouldn't be great for him. The government would not appreciate that. Understandably. Correctly. Happily. But that's not the problem, because that's not where the conversation ended. That's not where the conversation ended. The conversation ended with reasonableness. And by the way, one of the people I spoke to is actually from Gaza, as family murdered. Murdered is the right word in this respect. I'm saying like innocent people or wherever. It's in warfare. So maybe perhaps you don't want casualties of war, but not combatants. Close family, close friends. His immediate family, he hasn't heard from in 2 months. So on. Anyway, where did the conversation end with all these people after hours? With total reasonableness. With total understanding of each other's point of view. And that's dangerous because of the crazies. The crazies. What? What resolves the danger? You know what resolves? Hi, salam salam. I have a photo, thank you. Shukran, I have video free. What resolves the danger? Nothing but being platform, fame, popularity. Not having 12 views with 30,000 subscribers because YouTube is now run by the German and American governments set up by a couple of Russian Jews. It was good back then. Yutuka was good back in the beginning. Then there's no danger. Not to me, not to them. So that's why I get a little bit upset at people who should know, who should think, who should realize and understand, and yet have not come forth in the way that they ought to. But the blessings are greater. The blessings, I don't know, I would say, I've always said, or at least, in the last few years, since I've had enough experience to be able to compile statistics on the matter, about 1 in 300 or 500, depending where, maybe 1 in 1,000 people, personally meeting them doesn't resolve in friendship, goodness, happiness, but in that person being, a sociopath and bad things happening. And then I get upset at the people who want to know better why they aren't stepping forth on my behalf, but I know the answer. It's because they're not present. We are not made for this kind of conversation. We are made to live face to face. In the Torah, in the Bible, it says, Lo selech rochil ba'amecha. There should not be peddlers in your midst. What does that mean, there should not be peddlers in your midst? It means don't believe anything that you're not a part of, that you haven't seen firsthand. Anyway, I bless you for watching this. The world is magnificent. I bless you all. And may if you have the abilities, to be one of those very few people with the courage to step forth, the independent-minded and independent-heartedness to step forth, and to platform me, the easiest way to do it right now, unless you know a way to do it otherwise, is literally through contributing money. Literally. If you have the ability, if you have greater abilities than that, if you have the ability to talk to me and ask, hey, how can I help? I might not have an answer. I didn't have an answer for Robert Aumann just yet. But you might have the ability to help. You might have the ability to platform me. If you're one of those few people, history will not forget you. History will not forget you. Anyway, God bless you all. God bless all the people of the world. God bless Israel. God bless Jerusalem. God bless Egypt. God bless Alexandria. And may some of the spark of God within you bless us all from the not very good things that are happening and the much worse things coming our way, and instead to give mankind the opportunity for a world that will make us, we will start history. The way the Torah describes it is that we will be known as the generation that is Goder Peretz, Mishovev Nesivos Lashaves, the ones who fixed the breach and who created the streets, the infrastructure for salvation, for dwelling, for life. And there's a step beyond that, which is immortality, which is a step we're not yet ready for. Let's get here first.